right, so we're going to take another trip all the way back to beautiful ancient Egypt, where we can discover all the cool ancient items of the old world: slot machines, flamenco dancers, 2.99 buffet at Barbary Coast, right across the street from Caesar's Palace. It's gonna fucking rock. No, but for real, I want to discuss again my theory on the pyramid being built on top of pre-existing mounds or mountains in Egypt. And there's a couple, I mean, I keep finding evidence for this. And so I think it should be brought to attention. I know I've done a couple videos on it before, but I probably do a couple more because I want people to know. I mean, I really think that there is something to this. So we're going to go over the evidence, and all my subscribers, anyone, discuss it with me. Tell me what your thoughts are on it. You know, does it make sense? Does it not make sense? Whatever, you know, let's get into it. All right. So now we're going to listen to Eric Von Daniken discussing when he goes into the pyramid. All right. When you take the entrance, the tunnel to get inside the Great Pyramid of Giza, listen to what he says about going inside of it. Okay. Let's check this out.
You have to climb into this hole. Why not up here? This looks rather like an entry. In the year 823 AD, this was still covered with stone plates. Then the ruler of Egypt, his name was Caliph Al-Mamun, he knew that there are treasures inside, and he wanted to have the treasures. Now, because it was all covered with stone plates, there was no entry to see. And he gave the order just to dig this hole inside the pyramid. What happened? So if today, as a tourist, you climb in here, in the beginning you really have the impression, this is not the pyramid, this is not the building, I'm climbing into a rock, into a rock. You see this here. But then...
All right, so even he describes it as going into a rock or something. But what if that's actually what's happening? Now look at this. This is a video going inside the tunnel that Amumon created. Now it took his army over almost a year to break into the pyramid. Now we have to make some considerations on that. How long do you think it would take for a couple men to flip a brick, to flip one of those 2-ton bricks? Even then, if just using some levers, right? So why would it take him a year, and that's in his entire army, to get into it? Because he had to cut in through the mountain. Pay attention to some of this stuff. I mean, you know, really, if we look at the detail on stuff, that it'll come into play later. All right, but there's some interesting evidence that I found just when you go into the pyramid. When you first get into it, I mean, it would make sense that it's carved into a mountain. I mean, look at this. Now, they're not blocks. You don't see blocks. You just see the rock, the limestone. And the entrance for this is high off the ground, off the level ground. It's way, way up. You have to climb up to it. So if you're climbing up and you break into it, and then you're climbing into direct earth, what's that mean? Most likely it's like a mound or something that is built over top of. And we'll look at some of these pictures of the inside of it. Look at some of this. Does this look like blocks? No. It just looks like they tunneled through it. That's what it looks like to me. I mean, what about it looks like a bunch of blocks put together? This is inside the pyramid. You know? I'm saying, and it would make a lot more sense to build a pyramid like that. And they say that this is the granite plug that they couldn't break through. They just chiseled through the wall. But they say that the pyramid literally represents the earth rising out of the primordial waters, or the primordial chaos. And a pyramid first arose from the waters, and that was the first land that was created. Hence, that's why it's such a symbolic thing to them. Now, this is the Black Desert. And you can see in Egypt, there are tons of pyramidal shaped mountains that span the whole desert of Egypt. They're everywhere out there. So isn't there a slight bit chance that there could be, or could have been, some already pre-existing pyramidal shaped mounds or mountains or whatever in Giza? I mean, why not? You know, now, and also what's interesting is that these mountains, the Black Desert, these pyramidal shaped mountains, see that black stone on it? That black stone is the exact same stone that is on the outside rim of the pyramid, which they claim is the foundation of it. You can find the same black stone all around it. So it's like they might have removed the black stone from the mountain, from the mound, and then made it, laid it out in front. So it appears like it's a foundation, but it's technically not. It could have been a foundation for other buildings that used to be there. But you can see that that these obviously already look like pyramids. And so there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of different ways to go about it with saying that, yeah, there's a good chance that it's that they built it over. I mean, one, the time that it takes to build a pyramid, it would cut that time in a half, or even by 75%, it would cut that time down. Now, this is Saqqara, all right? And so this is the Black Pyramid right here. There's the Bent Pyramid. No, this isn't Saqqara. It's by Saqqara, though. But this is the Black Pyramid, the Bent Pyramid, and another pyramid in the back. I can't tell what that is. But look at the Black Pyramid. It looks like just like a mountain. It looks like just like an earth mound sticking up. But when you get close to it, you can see that it's a bunch of blocks. So you're like, oh, okay, well, you know, I mean, that's why it's a pyramid. You know, they built them up. They built up the blocks and just stacked them up or whatever. But this is unlike the Great Pyramid, which is made out of pieces of limestone. These are like baked brick stones. All right. Now, another thing that's really interesting is if you look close up to the Black Pyramid, you see all the bricks and stuff, and you say, yeah, that's a pyramid. They stack them up, and all the other stuff. Well, what's all that rubble from? You know, what are all the stones and stuff from? That's from it degrading over time, and so since they're not made out of like chunks of limestone, they degrade hardcore. They just turn into dirt. So it's, you know, would have been real easy to make one like that. But just to say on the same side that this is one of the mountains in the Black Desert. This is not a pyramid. Yet you see all the blocks, it looks like, up on the mountain. It's a natural thing that happens. See that right there too, same thing. It's a natural thing that happens. So couldn't, you know, they just taken advantage of that fact and, you know, repurpose the blocks to make it a pyramid or something. I mean, they already come in natural block shapes, and I mean, that's just natural. So wouldn't it make sense? I really think it does. This is another pyramid. Look at this. That's a pyramid. That's just like an earth mound. But they're like, no, that's a pyramid. Why? Why not? Why? I mean, now if they just encased that pyramid, and then that would help explain stuff like the Bent Pyramid. Why is it bent? Well, maybe they're just covering a earth mound, and that's just the shape it went, you know. Now look at these pyramids in Nubia. Look at the inside of that. What is it filled with? Backfill, rubble. You know, you're going to tell me that the inside is going to deteriorate into dust and rocks and scrap, but the outside, that'll stay perfectly fine. How is that possible? How does that make the slightest bit of sense? Did somebody come in there afterwards and just fill it up with rubble? Look at it. It's just backfill stuff. It's not it's not just full of blocks. I mean, it's just full of crap, really. What, you know, what these pyramids are anyway. They're just full of just whatever rubble and stuff just to fill it up, just to encase it. And these are little pyramids too. So, I mean, why not? I mean, look at that. More sense if it was you know, building it on top of a mound already. An already existing earth mound. Just like it made more sense to the Nubians to do the inside with a bunch of rubble and stuff that's not going to be seen. So it doesn't make any sense to do it any other way. To, you know, what we need to cut and shape blocks to put it into a part where they're not going to see it anyway. So what's the point of that? And I do like the theory that Davidovits came up with, the polymer theory too. You know, I think that has a lot to do with it. I'm not saying that that's it though. Now this is the pyramid of Abu Ruwash. All right. Now if you can see here, this is a pyramid that's open, exposed to the air. Okay. So look at it. Look, that's open to the sky or whatever. It is straight cut into a fucking mountain, and it was encased at one time. That's what I'm saying. That's what I believe. It was encased at one time. Then they took all the stones away for whatever reason. But just look at it. So you can see where the stones are going up the causeway of the corridor of it, and then you see where the mountain exists. That they just cut into it. Look at the big slabs of stone and stuff that they put to like lay it down and to travel down into it or whatever. I mean, then it makes a lot more sense. I mean, look at that. You guys are telling me that's pyramid. They cut blocks like this. There's not even a block there. What are we looking at? There's no blocks there. It's part of the mountain. It's just part of the living rock, part of the earth. This is inside the pyramid of Abu Rawash. Okay. Now look at this. Now see how they have these it looks like a T square cut into the mound. Okay, this is what I'm saying. And then they have like a long causeway that goes down, and then they work their way, they case the walls up and then work their way up from there. Well, how do they do the top? Look at this big square empty part. How do you cover the top up without them all caving in? Well, let's see. If we go back and reference the Great Pyramid, if you look at the entrance of the Great Pyramid, what do you see? Well, right above where Al-Mamun's entrance was, you see what looks like a big entrance, and you see big stone pillars like this leaning up against each other. So you would lean those blocks right over the cut in the earth, and right like that, and then build it up from there. It makes perfect sense. Why else would they even need that in there? Why would they even need those like that? Why would they need those stacked like that? Doesn't make any sense. It's not an entrance, right? So why would they need that? And even if they did, do they ever have an A-framed entrance into any building there? No, it's always like a pie-shaped square. So that still doesn't make any sense. But it makes perfect sense if you stack them together like that and then build your outside up so you can have a pyramid when you have an open cut into a mountain or like something, I mean, it makes perfect sense. Look at that. So you would cut out all the blocks from the inside of the mountain, remove them, and then case that rest of the mountain in to make it perfectly flat like a pyramid and work your way up. Now, and the thing is that people say, well, what about the correlation between Orion's belt and the pyramids? And first, let's figure this out real quick, okay? So we take a look. Automatically, the first thing you tend to notice is it's not correct. It is fucking backwards. So if they were going to align it to the stars, why would they make it backwards so it doesn't match? That doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't they just move it over? The alignment is obviously incorrect. All right, so this doesn't make. If you're trying to match it perfectly with the stars, and you're trying to make it align, why would you have it backwards? So in fact, does not align with it, because it does not align with it. So why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. And it's people say, well, look at what are the odds of that? Because it is really close. It is really similar. And to that, I have to say, well, it's not like a difficult pattern to, for nature to come up with. It's not like it's making a perfect square or something like it's, or a perfect pentagram. It's a design in nature that can easily be, reproduced. Now we're on Google Earth over the Black Desert, okay, where all the black pyramid shaped mountains are. Okay. So we can just go up and find any group. We just take a group of mountains and watch. I'll even zoom in, okay? We'll check this out. Look, you just line them up, and look, all of a sudden, you have one that matches up. And I mean, you can keep doing this. Okay, because it's two of them in a line, and then one off to the side. Now if it was three in a line, that might be harder. But two in a line, that's any two could be in a line, and then one off to the side. So it's something that's very easily reproduced in nature because it's not anything. It's two in a line, which is just two of them. Any two will be in a line. So once you have one off to the side, that's just one off to the side now. So it's very easily reproduced in nature. So look at these. This one actually fits. This is completely aligned to Orion's belt. 100%. better than the pyramids are. So we can go ahead and I'm just saying, that would explain it, right? Makes sense to me. But maybe it's just me. I don't know. What do you guys thought? All right, you guys. UFO proof out. Oh, wait. Before I go, someone was saying that the Earth's landmass, if you put all the Earth's landmass together, the exact center of the Earth's landmass is the Great Pyramid. It's actually not. And a gentleman, a geophysicist or whatever, in 1973 actually took a global map and calculated exactly where the exact center of all the Earth's landmass is. Now, even though Egypt's kind of close, it's about 1,000 miles away from it. But do you know where the exact center of the Earth's landmass lands? Motherfucking Turkey. All right, before you guys go, I got one more thing for everybody, a little present for everybody. This Thursday, February 2nd, at 12 o'clock Pacific time, I will be having an interview with Constantine from UFO Theater, live. So you guys will be able to come on and ask questions directly from YouTube. It's gonna fucking rock. All right, you guys, I'll see you there. UFO proof out. We're gonna go over the evidence, and all my subscribers, anyone, discuss it with me. Tell me what your thoughts are on it. Does it make sense? Does it not make sense? Whatever, let's get into it. All right. So now we're going to listen to Eric Von Daniken discussing when he goes into the pyramid. All right. When you take the entrance, the tunnel to get inside the Great Pyramid of Giza, listen to the pyramid being built on top of pre-existing mounds or mountains in Egypt. And there's a couple, I keep finding evidence for this, and so I think it should be brought to attention. I know I've done a couple videos on it before, but I probably do a couple more because I want people to know. I really think that there is something to this. So what he says about going inside of it. Okay, let's check this out.
You have to climb into this hole. When it appeared, this looks rather like an entry. In the year 823 AD, this was still covered with stone plates. Then the ruler of Egypt, his name was Caliph Al-Mamun, he knew that there are
another trip all the way back to beautiful ancient Egypt, where we can discover all the cool ancient items of the old world. Slot machines, flamenco dancers, $2.99 buffet at Barbary Coast right across the street from Caesar's Palace. It's gonna fucking rock. No, but for real, I want to discuss again my theory on the pyramid. All right, so we're going to take